What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Doctor Who Classic Reviews series. I'm going to be doing classic reviews for classic Doctor Who episodes once again. I know I said that I wasn't going to do this anymore, but I've decided I want to keep doing it. Now that I've kind of decided that I want to keep making videos for this channel. Mainly it was the ranking videos, but I actually want to keep doing these reviews as well. So there are 6 episodes that I've watched since my last classic review. Yes, I've not watched a lot in this year and a bit, however long it's been, maybe even a couple of years, but I have watched a few, and I am going to be doing reviews on those episodes. It starts today with the second Doctor story, the Macra Terror. Now for this and the next 5 classic reviews after this, I've written notes, but these notes I've kind of done after the fact of watching the episode. It's a long time since I've watched some of these, so yeah, my notes may not be the best in these ones, so we'll get through these 6 episodes, and then after that we will be, when I'm watching the episodes, I'll be making notes and it'll be back to the way it used to be. So anyway, today we've got the Macra Terror from the Patrick Troughton era. I think it's from season 5, Patrick Troughton's second season. And yeah, this is a fully animated story. So I think there might be an episode or 2, I think it might only be 1 episode maybe, that has survived from this one, but it's a 4-part story, and they've decided to just do a full 4-part animation, and this is a pretty good one. Now, I used to do kind of the good and the bad notes, I do like a section of good and a section of bad. From now on, we're just going to kind of do notes. I'm just going to talk about things. I've just made a list of notes. There'll be some good things, there'll be some bad things, just some general things. So that's how we're going to do it from now often. So if you're watching these in like a playlist, might be a little bit all over the place, but yeah, that's how we're going to go with this. So first thing I want to talk about, well, let's talk about the cast actually first. Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor, pretty good in this one from what I remember. Like I said, these first 6 episodes that I'm doing back from making these videos, I'm going to be a little bit hazy on the performances and everything, but for what I remember, Troughton was good in this one. Same goes for Jamie, Polly and Ben. Ben actually in particular takes a very different role in this one, as he is kind of evil for most of this story, but that is because of something happening in the story which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, the whole cast seems pretty good here, although it's quite, it's quite strange and hard to, judge how people are acting wise when it's completely animated, when it wasn't originally supposed to be animated, of course. So that's a little bit strange, but yeah, I'm kind of used to these animations now, so yeah, pretty good from everyone there. And the animation style itself, I think, is very good here. It's one of the best animation styles. I really do like this one. They seem to change it up a lot. There were things in like Power of the Daleks that, I thought the Daleks looked really good in that one, but the humans didn't look great. In this one, from what I remember, I can't remember if it's a slightly different animation to Power of the Daleks, but for what I remember and the screenshots I've seen and everything since, it looks like it's a pretty good animation, this one. So yeah, on first viewing I watched this one in black and white, so I haven't actually seen it in colour yet, but yeah, seemed pretty good. Ben gets brainwashed by the gas and starts acting against the Doctor. So this is what I'm talking about with Ben. There's this kind of gas that is, the Macra are gassing people, and it basically gets into their mind and changes their thoughts and feelings on things, and pretty much makes them control the humans. So Ben gets done by this gas. He gets infected with this gas, I guess, and yeah, he becomes brainwashed, and he's pretty much acting evil in a way. He's wanting to, save the colony and save the Macra and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, it's interesting because it gives Ben a little bit of a different character there. Jamie and Polly don't end up being affected. I think Polly is about to be affected by it, but the Doctor ends up saving her. And then I can't remember what happens with Jamie. For some reason he's not affected by it. I can't remember 100%, but yeah, Ben getting brainwashed by the gas, very interesting. The Macra are in control of the colony, like I said before, and I mean, I'll also say at the same time, the Macra are making the colonists mine for the gas because they need it to survive. So this gas, basically what it does is, well, it's mainly there for I don't know if it's the same gas, I can't quite remember, but the Macra need this gas to survive. So without the gas, they'll die. They need the humans to kind of mine the gas for them, There's also the gas that, you know, I don't know if it's the same gas or not, but it kind of brainwashes the people to make them work for the Macra. And it's a very elaborate, strange little scheme going on, but yeah, the Macra, basically they're in control of the colony. They have this colony under their claws, I guess is the way to put it, and they're pretty much telling them what to do and keeping them alive, really, and killing a few people in the process. Jamie doing the Highland fling by dancing and flinging himself out of the door to escape. So that's a bit where I think it's after he goes through like a door and ends up finding the Macra. He also finds one of the guys, one of the colonists, dead from the Macra. He eventually gets back to the colony again, and yeah, kind of appears in this room with all these dancers, and he does the Highland fling, and literally flings himself out of the door. That's a funny little scene there, and they actually use it again at the end of the episode, where yeah, the Doctor and everyone basically fling their way out of the story, which is interesting. And that's actually the next point I have. After saving the colony, they want to make the Doctor the next pilot. The pilot's kind of the head of the colony, but he swiftly leaves after finding this out. That's when they do the Highland fling and fling themselves out of there, because the Doctor doesn't want to be ahead of this organization. Whenever that happens, you know, it happens so often. He saves the day, he, you know, helps everybody out, and then they're like, we want you to be our new leader, and then he's like, no, that's not me. I cannot bunker down in one spot and lead you people. I've got to go and get on with my life and, you know, have fun and do adventures. I don't want to be stuck in one place forever. So that's pretty much what happens there. So interesting to see that. It's something that happens a lot with the Doctor in more modern times, in, you know, the modern series. But yeah, we see it here in the 60s. And then final just little point here. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of points because I didn't, you know, it's like a year since I watched this episode, and that's just that this was enjoyable with nothing really bad about it, but for some reason it just doesn't feel like a classic. So this was a good story for what I remember. I did actually rank them, kind of give them ratings when I watched them, but just didn't write any points. And yeah, I liked it. I couldn't really think of any real issues with it, but for some reason it just didn't really stick in my memory. And a rating, the rating that I've given the Macra Terror is an 8 out of 10. So it's a very good story. It's enjoyable. It's only 4 parts long, which is very good, especially for the 60s. Quite a few 6-parters here and there that can drag on a little bit. This one isn't one of those, only 4 parts long, and there's some good stuff going on here, and it's relatively enjoyable. There's just something about it that, you know, although there isn't really anything wrong with it, just doesn't really sit as a classic for me. Maybe it's the fact that it's animated, and it would have been really cool to see the Macra, to see all this stuff happening with, you know, in real life instead of in animation. I think that would have been really cool, seeing the Macra for real. But yeah, there's just not really much else to say. I think, from what I remember, maybe the Macra didn't appear as much as I would have hoped. There was perhaps a little bit too much, you know, just colony stuff, not quite enough actual Macra stuff going on. Yeah, it's a decent episode. There's really nothing to complain about here, but it's just not a classic. So yeah, an 8 out of 10 for the Macra Terror. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. It's a short one today, and it might be fairly short ones for the next few as well, just because I don't quite have the notes that I usually would, but we will eventually get back into the swing of things. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.